My life. Hey. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Hello, everybody. Live from Koreatown in 2019. Folks, we're in the future. Can you believe it? It's the Ozone podcast. I'm your host, Omar Miller. I'm here with my brother, Terry Miller, also known as the Icons, as you hear in the song, also known as Trollin' Terry. It's a new dawn. I got a new lease on life. And I'm going to tell you why I got a new lease on life. Because at this time last week, ladies and gentlemen, I was curled up in the fetal position. I was in fetal position in a hotel room in New York City where I was fighting a bout of either an allergic reaction or stomach virus. And I am a 300-pound man that felt like the size of an ant. A very, very full, bloated, diuretic, vomitous ramp ant. It was bad. And I was doing bad out there, guys. I really felt like 2019 was not my year. It was going the wrong way. And it wasn't just because I woke up and the Dodgers had lost the last two World Series. Now I'm back. Had to get my guts together to get my strength back to get back to Los Angeles, and I couldn't be happier about it. We're going to have some rain for the next week, so I'm going to be sports junkied out. But as of right now, what I can tell you is we have a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. We got boxing coming up. We got the hot stove finally heating up. Got a lot of callers who want to talk about baseball, but we're going to focus on one. Basketball, we need to know. There's some cancers in the league, apparently. But we also had our college sports analyst can't wait to get back on because his prediction came true. How many of you guys made some money off of Dabo Sweeney and the Clemson Tigers because of Do It for the Tipper? Who? Was it you? Was it you? I don't know. But it wasn't me. But it should have been because I had the inside stuff. Now, we're going to start the conversation off with the biggest sports of the weekend. And that, my friend, is the NFL playoffs. I really like Wild Card Weekend myself, but this weekend follows it. I actually like this more than the Super Bowl myself.
The wild cards, you're freaking wild. So I don't know. Dude, calm down. What are you?
I'm a wild card, brother. You can't hold me and you can't predict what's going to happen. Sack for 15.
It's true. So, I like the wild card, but I don't love it.
I mean, if you look at
the second round. The second round is extra juicy.
Yeah, but if you look at the wild card situation, what happened this go-around was pretty interesting. I know I spoke to Trucker Dave offline, and he was a little upset at us because he wanted to get on to give his prediction because he felt like the Colts were going all the way to the AFC to the championship game because he believes that they can beat the Chiefs. And he thought they were going to beat the Texans. He was right, and we'll see what happens after that. But I think one of the biggest things that's going down, I'm still talking to people who think that the kid from the Bears missed the field goal.
Yeah, then, and we didn't ever go to the moon either. They've shown footage. They've shown footage where the dude is tipping the ball.
Well, and this is the issue.
From several angles.
But this is what I mean. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying that
what are you saying?
This is an example of how you can put out the correct information, but how dangerous a lie can be. Because it was Winston Churchill who said that a lie gets halfway around the world before the truth even gets a chance to put his pants on.
Right.
And the thing is that everybody has gotten the word that the kid missed it. He choked. He'd been missing all year. And you had all these rants from all these Chicago Bears fans cussing out everybody and him and South Florida where he's from and the whole song and dance.
Come on, man.
And when you saw the kid sitting at the locker room after that game, he was devastated as if, it's like when you shoot a free throw, you know whether or not the free throw is going to be good immediately.
Right.
And you could see that the kid thought, I don't know. I mean, I have to take responsibility for it. But, he looked like he felt like, felt good. It looked good. And he couldn't figure it out.
I think one of the problems was that he's done this like 4 times this year. So
of course, that's the problem.
A pattern.
Well,
and this is how he plays.
And this is what I'm saying. But the problem is then the announcers, everybody just assumed that he tricked it off because of the pattern that he had established. At which point now it felt as though, okay, we got to get rid of this kid. He cost us. Then the real information comes out from the NFL, and they say, hey, actually, you got tipped.
Then they change the stat.
But that's why it didn't miss by much.
But he shouldn't have missed it anyway. I mean,
what are you talking about? That's him. The ball getting tipped isn't his fault.
But It barely got tipped. I mean,
What do you? And that's like saying he barely got fouled, but he still missed the jumper.
Yeah, but,
he still got fouled.
Yeah, but
He barely
of the ball.
The trajectory of the ball was influenced by the fact that you touched the ball. Why do you think it double doinked off the post and the
with the double doink?
Hey, double doink. Let me get a double doink with cheese. Hold the pastrami.
Hey, you went a double doink on me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Why else do you think that it was so close? It doesn't take much.
The first one, he went center cut.
This one might have been center cut.
No.
When you touch the ball, it changes the trajectory. Terry, what are you, crazy? If you touch the ball.
Terry, I'm the icon.
Sorry, dude.
I'm in character.
Come on. He's a character. Ladies and gentlemen, there may be a little bit of schizo action happening with my brother. I'm going to have to talk to him off stage if I can get to him off stage. Maybe when the mic goes off, it'll be Terry again. But yeah, no, man, when you touch the ball, it changes the trajectory of the ball. I don't care how little you touch it. And I just hate the fact that the kid has to wear this. But it's kind of like a Cry Wolf situation because he missed those field goals, earlier.
It's hard to let him slide.
Hard to let him slide. But with that, there's one team that the Raiders have benefited that are still in the game. Two teams, as a matter of fact, and that's the Eagles and the Cowboys.
I don't really personally feel, I know Cowboy Kev will have something different to say.
Oh, we're going to talk to Cowboy Kev.
But I really don't. I feel like Nick Foles can beat the Saints. The Saints defense is not great.
It's hard to beat who dat at home. I went to a game down there 5 years ago for my birthday.
He won the Super Bowl.
He just won the Super Bowl. And he just won a big game in Chicago.
Big game in Chicago.
That was hard. The Bears might be harder at home than anybody.
You have to play against the elements, not even counting the defense.
And you have to play against the Raiders. I mean, Khalil Mack.
Right.
It's the thing is that get to the Raiders. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it for a couple of years now. I've just been waiting for the Raiders to leave California to complete my divorce papers. And it seems like we may be in an accelerated position to do just that. Because now they're talking about, and good for the city of Oakland, good for Alameda County, and good for the city of Oakland for not
telling them to bounce.
Yeah, for not renewing a 1-year lease for them. You know what? F the Raiders if that's how they want to play. If they want to leave, bounce. They should have thought of that logistically in advance.
Wow, you're upset.
I am upset because I'm watching all these teams. All of a sudden, the Cowboys become relevant when they get Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Who John Gruden act like
couldn't even
lace up. Yeah. Khalil Mack changes the Bears overnight.
Literally.
I mean, he came and didn't even have any time to practice and almost beat the Packers at home.
Yeah.
That was really, really impressive.
He couldn't even play. How many snaps did he play? Maybe 30, 40% of them?
And was a factor.
Yes. He's a game changer.
He's a game changer. And I can't remember the guy that we traded to the Eagles.
I don't know how you got off track like that, though.
No, I'm just saying. Because
lose it.
Because the nation in me,
Alameda,
I want to be committed, and they're not going to be a California team anymore, so I don't have any problems with that. So, we got the Colts going up against the Chiefs. How do you feel about this game?
I feel like the Chiefs are going to get them, especially an indoor team going to the outside with the elements. And not only that, the Chiefs have firepower.
Lots and lots of
that firepower.
When will Andy Reid choke?
I don't think that
is it this round or is it next round?
Might be in the Super Bowl.
He might not choke to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So you think the Chiefs can handle the Patriots and the Chargers? I don't know if the Chiefs can beat the Chargers.
The Chiefs can beat the Chargers as well because all of these teams have to go to Kansas City now.
Yep.
Where it's brick.
And we're talking about potential snow. It's 50%.
Yeah, well, the Chargers actually played great
I was amazed.
On the road. I don't think they've lost a game on the road, they said.
They played great on the road, and they surprisingly good in cold.
Okay, so I do believe the statistic is right now that the Chargers haven't lost a road game, and the New England Patriots haven't lost a home game.
Oh, wow.
So this is about to be the Battle of the Bulge.
So
somebody got to give it up.
So you're going with the Chiefs.
Going with the Chiefs, only because firepower eventually would, because it's an offensive league now, and the firepower will be,
I'm going with the Colts.
Yeah, it'll be too much for the Colts, I do believe. And especially, I just have a problem with indoor teams going to play in the elements. It's a problem.
And now, Patriots-Chiefs.
Patriots.
Patriots, sorry. No, wow. I lied. Patriots-Chargers.
The Chargers can beat
They can beat them, but will they beat them?
Ooh.
That's the tricky part because you go up to Foxborough. I'm going with that. I'm gonna be a homer. You hear me? I'm gonna be a homer.
I am.
I'm gonna be a homer, and I'm gonna go with the Chargers. And it's just because I don't want the Patriots to go because even with a beat up team, an old quarterback, yada 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 yada, you know that the world is going to skew and cheat for the Patriots.
I don't know if they are.
Some way.
I mean, people are sort of sour on them.
But the Chargers are on a roll, and they're coming.
They have a good team. They have a good defense. They have a good running back, an above-average running back. They have an above-average quarterback.
Yep.
And those are what you need to win. The only thing is that this is the first year coach, and I think that might help him because
I don't think he's intimidated.
Well, I don't even think it's an intimidation factor. He hasn't set a pattern or habits that Bill Belichick can study. Yeah, can study like that.
Yeah. Although I was very, very disappointed. What he can study is the last 6 or 7 minutes of that ball game against the Ravens. Because in that last 6 or 7 minutes, the game like 23-3, and all of a sudden the game was tight. It went the wrong way.
I think that's one of the reasons why, with Melvin Gordon being hurt, that they have a problem. Because once Melvin Gordon is, which he should be even stronger this week, they can take the clock away a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because they don't have Eckler is not that type of dominant back.
Yeah. And Gordon's been getting a lot of treatment these last 7 days.
So now, and you can't really game plan to stop Melvin Gordon.
No, he's legit. And that opens it up for your boy Big Gates.
Yeah, well, Gates is no good. He had no good now.
No, but he made some big catches last Sunday.
He did, but he made the big catches to seal the games. But this
is what I'm saying. It opened up for Gates and Phillip Willard. Obviously, I'm not saying Gates is number one anymore.
I think that the key would be Mike Williams this time.
Mike will be.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Because, Belichick is going to focus on taking away your number one asset. He can't really stop Melvin Gordon, so that's all about game planning. But I do believe that you can shut down Keenan Allen. So this brings in Mike Williams and all the other guys,
And so you like the Super Bowl champion looking to repeat Philadelphia Eagles over the Who Dat Nation.
Yeah, but I don't think they can beat the Rams.
We ain't got to the Rams yet. We got a caller waiting in the wings for the Rams.
We go that far. I don't think that they could. It'll eventually catch up with them. But the Saints. The Saints defense is suspect, really suspect. You got Eli Apple out there who very, very suspect. I'm sure that they've studied footage. They're not going to break under pressure because they just won the Super Bowl.
The Eagles believe, too. They believe. You can see it. They
believe
with Nick Foles.
He's so calm. They talk to him after the game, after a big win.
Look like they believe with Carson Wentz.
Right.
The whole team, the offense and the defense.
They don't. I think that what Nick Foles brings is that he spreads the ball around. He makes everybody a part of that team.
He makes very smart football plays. You always hear about LeBron James making the right basketball play. Nick Foles seems to make the right football play.
And then when you look at, Zach Ertz, Carson Wentz's whole offense centers around Zach Ertz pretty much.
And Nick Foles does not.
And so you just
it's another piece. A great weapon.
So you're not going to get Zach Ertz is probably not going to have 15 targets. And that's big. Because
I think keeping the ball out of Drew Brees' hands is what's big, and I think that they have the ability to do that. I think that their coach is a very smart coach, and he's
but
and
they're built for a shootout. With Nick Foles, they're built for a shootout. Carson Wentz, I'm not sure.
I don't think you beat the Saints in a shootout. I think you beat the Saints by slowing them down. And making them play some sloppy football.
Yeah, Philadelphia doesn't have defense either. So this is probably going to be a shootout.
We're going to find out. And then in the last game of the weekend, we have the home team, ladies and gentlemen.
It's Ram time, baby.
Is it Ram time? That was in my notes. My notes was,
time.
Is it Ram time? Question mark. That's what I wanted to know.
Is.
Or is it time for Cowboy Kev to come on the line?
Cowboy Kev.
Yes, I hear you. I hear you, Icon.
You don't want to hear me, though.
There you go.
But you don't hear me, though.
I hear you, but I don't hear you, though.
Now, I'm telling you that literally the Rams could knock them off, literally, if Todd Gurley touches the ball 20 to 25 times, you don't have a chance.
I need 25 to 35 times.
I do too, but I'm saying that McVay goes. This is why
they lost against the Falcons last year.
Why they lost against the Bears and anybody else. He had 11 carries against the Bears. But anytime McVay goes away from Todd Gurley, they lose. If you stay with Todd Gurley, you can't beat the Rams. The bottom line.
Now let's just redo this call because now that you're on and we're all loud and clear. I'd rather have the Ozone listeners would rather have a clear cut call from Cowboy Kev. He's one of the fan favorites, and I just want you to be able to state your point about the last 9 weeks, about what it is that the Cowboys were able to accomplish the last 9 weeks.
Right. Well, everything that you guys have said, you question is Jason Garrett the right man for the job? Is Dak the right quarterback? Is Ezekiel Elliott? Is he as good of a rusher as Gurley? The defense, can they really stop Gurley from the run? All of these questions, have been going on for the last 9 weeks. Ever since the Titans game in Week 5. Garrett's job has been on the line. Garrett and Linehan, the play call.
Is Garrett's job really ever on the line, though?
But even if it is, what does it matter? When you have Jerry Jones
it was make or break at that point. But I think his job is very safe now, which is not what Cowboy Nation necessarily feels moving forward will be in the best interest. But I think for now he saved his job with the 8 out of 9.
And talk us again about let the people know what you were saying. Let the people know what you were saying about how Cowboy Nation travels well. We could be looking at a semi-home game for the Cowboys.
No, it's not semi. It's a home game.
L.A. He's disrespecting the city.
Potentially, there could be more Cowboy fans in the stadium than there are Rams.
No chance.
That could easily happen. We know the preseason game that happened. So it will definitely be 50-50.
I heard them predict that it's going to be 30% Cowboys.
That's what I saw. And I tell you what, L.A., as you know, is about winners. And right now, the Rams are winners. And that means everybody will go to the game. Now, if the Rams were losing, then I could ride with you. But we can't do it, not now. No way, no how. If the Red Sox couldn't overpower Dodger fans and the Red Sox are the best team in baseball, I can't see the Cowboys overpowering Ram fans.
This is very true.
Well, you got to remember, L.A. didn't have a team not 3 years ago. So the L.A. Rams team you talk about, it's a lot of fair weather.
Of course.
You're a diehard Rams fan, but you have always had Cowboy fans in L.A., not to mention Cowboy fans travel very well. Arizona, Frisco, wherever. They travel.
The only thing that I've seen the Cowboy fans have done is run up the ticket prices.
Cowboy fans have ran the ticket prices through the roof. To go to a dusty stadium, this is what the Cowboy fans are going to be amazed by. Because the Cowboy fans, I've been down to Jerry World. And let me tell you, Cowboy Stadium is like the eighth wonder of the world. It's a marvel. It's a beautiful place. I went to the Super Bowl down there with the Packers versus the Steelers. And honestly, there's nothing. The Coliseum was built for during World War I for Jesse Owens ran at the Coliseum, folks.
Right.
We're talking about a historic place that has not been restored. And I think Cowboy fans are going to come and be very surprised, especially if it's raining. Now, that's the factor we haven't spoken about, which is the potential weather. And the Cowboys are an indoor team.
It's supposed to be clear, though.
It's supposed to be clear by game time.
It's probably going to be wet.
Field's going to be wet,
right.
Which that ball going to be slippery. And we're going to be able to squeeze it.
I want to get back to some of the icons mentioned as far as Gurley. If they stick to the run, obviously, yes, we know that Gurley potentially can take over the game. The question has always been with McVay, though, is, you can tell they want to be a pass team. And so they forget about him, and potentially that could be a factor as well. And so not only do we defend the run well, I think we will be ready for that, and we'll focus on, limiting to Gurley. But we have a running back who, is averaging, 125 yards right now. And so.
And that's a problem.
He's going to have to be reckoned with as well. Exactly.
Now tell me this.
No, but
the Cowboys loses, Jason Garrett loses his job. Or is he secure now?
I believe he's secure now.
Do you want him back?
No. I would be safe to say most of Cowboy Nation doesn't want him back. In the future, I think him and Linehan, the offensive coordinator, they need to go. It's time for some a new face, and I don't know who that is or who that's going to be, but I believe the fact that they've been able to go on this run, They actually won playoff game against, solid Seattle team that his job will ultimately be safe, which is disappointing, but that is the fact, I believe.
I don't think that the Seattle Seahawks are a measuring stick because Seattle is just a
one-man gang.
Is a one-man gang. And they run the ball, they pound the ball like that because they don't have anything else. That's all they can do, and they just try to play clock management. And Russell Wilson is probably the best quarterback in football.
That's not true. They got two solid receivers in Lockett and Baldwin. I didn't think they went to him enough. When they did go to him, they scored quickly. But they were committed to the run, which,
that's the game plan. But Doug Baldwin probably is a number 2 on most teams.
Well, yeah, that may be true. But with that team, he's capable of big plays at any time.
But the thing that the Rams could do, if it was my game plan,
or special teams,
if my game plan against the Cowboys would be very simple. If we win the flip, you get the ball, you score, and then when you stop them at least once or twice, you score, and now Ezekiel Elliott is out of the game, and they have to depend on Dak Prescott, and it won't happen. Dak Prescott missed.
That's one thing that is the Cowboys. The defense is like 1 or 2 first quarter allowing points. They don't allow points first quarter. So a lot of teams
that's going to be out.
Get up on them early.
Rams going to get on the board.
But, good luck with that.
Rams going to get on the board, man.
Yeah, I'm not denying that. But they will give up points, too. We know their defense gives up points. They will give up a lot of points.
So you telling me that the Dallas Cowboys can get in a shootout with the Rams? You saw how that ended for the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's not what I said.
No, but you sound like you leaning that way. I don't even want nobody lean like that they can have a shootout with the Rams. This Ram tie right here.
What I'm saying is it ain't gonna be as easy to score as you talking. That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, I don't think that the game's gonna be easy. But another thing about Todd Gurley is that what makes him an exception.
Kansas City game.
Yeah, but the thing that makes it an exception for Todd Gurley is that he catches the ball. So not just running the ball, but catches the ball. And then when you go to the play action, it's too much. I mean, you have elite receivers out there. The Cowboys don't have elite receivers. You have Amari Cooper who's fallen off the map, and now you guys are in trouble. Beasley is hurt. You guys have to depend on who? Gallup, and who's the other kid over there now? The tight end is hurt as well. So they're all game time decisions. This is what you get when you get the wild card.
Football more than any other sport, you really need less games than more games.
Right.
And you see it over and over. It's so hard for the wild card to get there.
Everything you saying is if we were regular season, yeah, but we're talking playoffs. Playoffs is one game, win or go home.
But this is
and everything that you do in the regular season is not so easy in the playoffs. And so everything that they've been comfortable doing, I don't think it will be as easy to get done. And again, like I said, you're talking about a team that has not only momentum, but they have confidence. They've been tried week in and week out during these 9 weeks. They got slapped in the face against Indianapolis, who their defense coordinator was a Cowboy, not long ago on the Rod Marinelli. So he knew all about the Cowboys. That was a wake-up call for them, again, after going on a 5-game run. So all of these things that we're talking about, they've been tested week in and week out. So I'm saying their confidence, their momentum, the game will not be that easy.
Why would they be so confident when they've only won like 2 playoff games in the last 200 years? Why are they so confident?
Because it's the Cowboy Nation, and we got the general online, Cowboy Kev.
Wait a minute. Say it ain't so. This is icons, right? We former athletes. We thrive on this moment.
You're
when
supposed to.
We're the underdogs, and everybody talking about the other
agree.
man, and they good, and the Yankees and the history
agree.
and all of this and that. This is what we live for. This is what we want.
But I don't
believe the underdog to say we can't do this and we can't do that. That's how this team is coming into this game.
But I don't believe
and
you
they've
guys
been
have
like
enough.
that the last 9 weeks. So they look forward to this challenge.
Let's get it out.
Well, we're about to find out in about 30 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Cowboy Kev, we appreciate your time. We ain't going to take your whole day up. We know you got big moves to make out there, but we're going to get you back on probably on Monday or Tuesday's show because we're going to have a lot to speak about. One way or the other, we're going to have a lot to
Gonna be right. Somebody's going to be wrong.
One way or the other.
Now, one last piece.
Icons. You go invite me back Monday. We win.
Is it Ram time or is it Cowboy time to swing?
I'm not even worried about it. I'm not even worried about it.
Now, I got a question for you, Cowboy Kev. Last question on the way out. If the Cowboys do win, who do you want to see them play next round? Who are they better suited to play?
I mean, I would be surprised if it wasn't the Saints. Obviously, Nick Foles and Philly, they're confident with him, but, they're fortunate to win that Chicago game. I mean, I feel for the field goal kicker. That's his job. But
see, but here you go. This is what I was talking about before you called. The guy, the ball got tipped. The ball got tipped, which altered the trajectory, and everybody still is laying it on this kid like he choked. And this is terrible.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's the first I've heard that.
The way that they put it out is nowhere near as big as the way that it was
the narrative
presented.
that they're selling.
The narrative that they sold live.
Yeah. But they didn't.
Really?
It was so hard to tell that he tipped
a player on the Eagles clutched up, got way up,
got a finger on
and got maybe finger and a half on the ball, which is why when they talked to the kicker in his locker, he looked so surprised, more than devastated. Like you know how it is. Like I was saying, I use the analogy when you shoot a free throw off your hand, the free throw is good or not. You know? It's like when guys hit home runs, they know it's a bomb or not. And so this is what happened to this kid, and it's just terrible, man. I hate that they got him. They got you too. This is wild.
Yeah, well, I mean, no, I'm just saying, though, sports, though, that's one game, anything can happen. But I see when we win, we'll.
You looking for who that?
Potentially, we'll be going. We're going.
You looking to travel to who that?
We done fried up some Seahawks. We gonna candy these yams, and then we gonna put some of that New Orleans, roux on it.
You put some roux. You want to put them in the gumbo mix?
Roux on it. Yeah. And then we'll get ready for. Look, I'm saying Indy or I'm trying to think who's the other team.
You like the Chargers? You like the Chargers or the Patriots?
I think the Chargers. I think Indy and the Chargers play for the AFC Championship.
Wow. Well, there it is. Cowboy Kev, happy to have you. And we will talk to you post-game and see how you feel.
Yeah, it's good talking to you. Missed y'all, man. Back in the saddle.
You are a family.
Look forward to talking to you on Monday.
In the Ozone.
You're saying it right now.
In the Ozone.
All right.
It's the icon.
There you go. Oh, wow.
Why does everybody want to see me wrong?
Man, I tell you, because you trolling Terry. And people want to see you fall, boy.
But they are always disappointed because I'm usually right there. I'm telling you, the Rams could literally blow the Dallas Cowboys out.
They could.
Because if you get behind with them and if he gives the ball to Ty Gurley, it's not just 20 carries that I'm speaking on. I'm speaking on at least 20 touches. He has to touch the ball 20 times.
You're saying whether it's in the air or on the ground.
Whether it's in the air or on the ground. He's got to touch the ball. He's a game changer.
No doubt about it.
Running backs like him don't grow on trees.
Nope.
As nice as
or Zeke. And Zeke is nice.
I was going to say, as nice as Ezekiel Elliott is, he's not Todd Gurley. I mean, it's just unbelievable that the Rams are sitting here with this kid, and he's supposed to be 100%.
Ooh, let's go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our football coverage. It's time to give credit where credit is due. We had a caller call in all year. He's been about 65 to 70% right on all of his college picks. And usually, folks, when he's wrong, it's actually just out of the fact that he lets his personal feelings get in the way more so than his eyes. This is Do It for the Tipper. Going to talk to him about that Clemson-Alabama game.
What up, though?
Do It for the Tipper, also known as Dabo Sweeney's champs. Clemson Tigers, what you no good? What's happening?
We just call it 44-16. What's going on?
You know what? We don't even have any college football to talk about, and it looks like we may be running long on the Ozone today. The only thing I wanted to do was give you an opportunity to call in so that we could give you praise on air for your expert pick. Now, you talked about a tight game. This turned out to be a blowout. What happened? What do you think? What was it that you saw? I remember before you were talking about strength of schedule, and you felt like Alabama had really gotten a skate. And that Clemson had not. What is it that caused them to just get pounded?
I believe that the bully ball just came into play. Once that Alabama, Clemson got the pick six, it was just like a shock, and they just couldn't recover from that. With Alabama, not the inability to not stop Clemson on every single drive, that takes a lot out of you, Jack. And Alabama's been able to do that all season, but having to come against these Clemson Dabo Swinney Tigers, Dabo had them kids ready and prepared. That this stage is your time right now, and I believe like 5 of the Clemson defensive players are going, for the draft. But with them scoring on every possession, getting the pick six, stopping, the Alabama, rushing attack.
Pick six was big right off the rip.
Right off the back was big.
And I can't front. Tua showed backbone because Tua came right back out and was like, "Oh, word, I'm over the top."
Over the top.
Yeah, he came back strong, which was a shock. But I think that what Alabama was usually able to do when Tua played a damn good game, but usually Nick Saban would make the adjustments. And I think if he would have went with the young kid Jalen Hurts just after halftime, just to switch it up, then Clemson would have had to make the adjustments, towards that quarterback. But they still wouldn't have won because, I called it at the beginning of Ozone earlier this season that Clemson was going to win. So that's how it happened, man.
And now, do you think
we all seen it?
Now they're saying that this was the first time this kid Tua has lost as a starter, but they're making it sound like it's the first time he's ever lost in his life. Right? Do you see the kid bouncing back?
I think he's going to go back. He got a taste of the national championship, last year. We all know losing one, it's like, come on, man, you got a taste of it, and then, you got to go back. It's his team now. He doesn't have no Jalen Hurts behind him or anything.
Yeah, it's his team.
This is his team. So, do one more year, let Clemson, the Roll Tide, give him some cheese and everything, and then get paid.
Oh, they're going to pay him. They got to pay him and the family. Too much money involved. They need him back.
And I think they have, one of the top 5 recruiting classes again. So,
well, they're all going to have this crazy class. They're always going to have that. As long as Saban is able to keep putting kids in the pros. I mean, Saban came off so arrogant during the game. It was so evident. It seemed like the kind of guy you don't want to play for. I don't know him.
He seemed like he was disrespected just because they scored on him.
That was one of the things that we had talked about, me and Icons. It was like it became the Nick Saban show. It wasn't Alabama. It wasn't about the kids. And you could see just the frustration he had on the sideline. Man, they went for a 4th and 5 fake field goal.
Down,
well, what are y'all doing?
Down 18.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So that's Nick Saban's call. It's like, okay, you need to recruit some kickers that can make field goals. Like, but still, you don't do that the way that they rolling. It's like, so he got out-coached. And for this to be a future Hall of Fame, coach, maybe he's getting too old in his craft, and maybe he needs to, go elsewhere to improve some of or to revamp some of his coaching strategy. But that game, he was out coached, and let the kids just go out there and play.
I think it was a wake up call for him. Probably he will come back even stronger next year. But sometimes you need to get punched in your mouth to recognize
every time as an athlete.
Yeah,
that's how they get you too. Is when you actually don't ever lose. This is if it goes too long in your life and you never have that failure. This is how you become, 1, a terrible person, but 2, you have that breakdown.
Yeah,
as an athlete.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well. Wanted to give you love, do it for the tipper. We'll be coming back to you for college basketball because I saw a photo of this Zion Williamson kid that looked like it was photoshopped. The guy's head was man, this kid. Are you kidding me? So we'll be back to talk about him, but we're running long in the Ozone today. Wanted to give you a shout and give you your praise and keep leading our Ozone leaders the right direction for them wins.
Give it to me again before you sign off. I want to hear it again. I'm a champion, baby.
44-16, also known as Do It for the Tipper. BCS national champion. He called it from the word go, wire to wire. He's been on Clemson, and you should have too. You would have got paid. Do it for the Tipper. Woo! Thank you for your accomplishment.
Right on.
I appreciate y'all, Ozone, and I'm out. Have a good one.
You too.
Ozone. Ladies and gentlemen, we like to spread love. We like to spread love, and we like to talk about baseball. And it's time. It's time. Finally, The hot stove is heating up. There's a lot of
About time.
It's about time. Every year it's going deeper and deeper, and you just have to think that it has to do with the collective bargaining agreement. This CBA doesn't seem to work for the players. It seems like a buyer's market, even though, I mean, we're talking major guys are out there. And, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Yankees haven't been to the World Series in a decade. In Yankee talk, that's like an 86-year drought.
Right.
And we have another caller who just Pamsson is on the line, folks. Pamsson is on the line, and he just can't wait to chomp at the bit to talk about the Yankees and to jump on Troll and Terry. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hello?
Is this Pamsson live on the Ozone?
Yes, it is, sir. Yes, it is.
Yankee fan extraordinaire, Yankee expertise live on the line. You're here with me, the Big O, and your favorite, Troll and Terry.
and the fifth place Yankees?
Ah.
I told you. Hey, you guys got a diamond over there. You got DJ LeMahieu. That's big.
Yeah, it's huge. Whatever. Super huge. I'm super excited. Super happy.
Really?
Man.
You're not happy with it?
What did I tell you? Now, when it broke this morning, I told him, I said, I guarantee you Yankee fans aren't excited. DJ LeMahieu is a perennial batting average champion contender. The man can hit the baseball, and he gives you a nice second base. Now, my question is this. I have to lay it on the CBA. Everybody wants to follow Pamsson. You can follow him at Pamsson. He gives his opinion all the time online on Twitter.
Which I don't agree with most of the time.
But you could actually just lace down the Icons timeline. You'll find Pamsson. But it's just very interesting because what we were just talking about before you came on is, in general, not just with the Yankees, it seems like the CBA has guys not knowing where they're going in spring training, like all the way down to
the
spring
wire
training.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think I'm being over the top when I say this, but I think that we are experiencing an American labor issue.
Like, this is great. This is why I wanted to speak to you, because I saw you post something and you said something, and I couldn't agree with you more. I really want you to expound upon that. And it's that potentially the system is broken. Lay it on us.
Yeah, I mean, the system is broken, and this goes beyond just three guys talking about sports. This has become, like I said, an American labor issue. It is a multi-billion-dollar company that is taking full advantage of their labor force. And the CBA is set up in a way where now all of these billionaire owners are allowed to pocket revenue at historical levels and not have that trickle down to their actual payroll or to the players in the labor force themselves. So they don't share. I'm not like a labor expert. I don't know everything about the CBA, but I think MLB CBA is different from, say, the NBA, where they share percentages of the revenue.
In the NBA, the players are basically team owners.
Right.
They're like partners. They're partners
the
with the it's recognized that they are the product, and it doesn't feel that way. It used to be like that in baseball, but it doesn't feel that way anymore at all. Baseball CBA feels a lot more like the NFL CBA.
And the baseball, union,
exactly.
The union really messed up with that because there's no way that they should have this luxury tax. And I didn't never like the other teams feeding off of the teams like the Yankees and the Dodgers and getting.
I agree.
What's the motivation? What's your motivation to better your team or your city or the organization if you can just reap benefits off of the Yankees and the Dodgers?
Right. And then the Yankees and the Dodgers got to pay extra money to subsidize you and your bum squad.
Right. And on top of that, not only that, but it also rewards tanking.
It
so
sure
not
does.
Only are you making money, like I don't really have to spend in the free agent market because there's no penalty for me being terrible every year. I actually benefit from winning 50 games out of 162 every year. I get to keep the money, and I can go on about my business, and I can sell to my fans that we're rebuilding
eternally
into the future, eternally, and it's okay because I'm going to sell you on this dream because supposedly.
And I live in sunny San Diego.
Right. And then you're going to say we're a small market, we're incapable of competing financially with the big boy, when in fact the entire league just brought in $10 billion of revenue this past year. $10 billion, not million, billion.
The highest ever.
And And it's even more absurd that as we go on, that attendance numbers don't really factor in anymore.
I agree with that.
Because they make all this TV money. So you try to protest as a fan saying, I'm not going to go to these games. They're
like,
care.
oh, yeah?
They already have,
that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I already have this guaranteed TV money. I don't need you to buy the beer anymore because I have X amount of dollars that I
You know what it is? Your live attendance, unless you are the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the handful of teams who top 2 million, 1 million or 2 million turnstiles, regardless of what their team does. In real life, you're extras. You're extras in the team's movie. You're not a part of the team's movie.
Right. It's ridiculous. Like, I've complained. I'm obviously a Yankees fan. But what they are doing and what the Dodgers are doing could not be more insulting. You spent the last 5 years telling fans we're going to get under this luxury tax specifically to come to this free agent year so we could go after
Machado, Harper, exactly.
And neither team is going to sign those guys.
Yeah, now
they're spending their money on Troy Tulowitzki, who's broken, and DJ LeMahieu.
So and I'm not mad at DJ LeMahieu, but I'm also completely with you what you're saying.
The East Coast Rockies now.
You can't now you're the East Coast Rockies. You can't tell you're lying. But see, but this is why I wanted to have you on for this specific episode to talk about the cool stove, because it's not really the hot stove. Well, it's because this is a microcosm of, just like you said, of American labor. This is a microcosm of the government being shut down. This is the microcosm of a bozo running the country who constantly lies and contradicts himself and says, no, I said they're going to pay for it, but I didn't mean they were going to write a check. I meant they were going to pay for it in the way that I pay for stuff, meaning I don't.
Right. But then you're talking about being rewarding people for losing. Where did this happen? This never happens.
Totally un-American.
This is un-American. You don't get rewarded for losing.
100%. And I've been very reluctant to make that connection, at least on Twitter, because it requires research to like back it up so people aren't like, you're crazy. But all of this started happening or like accelerating when Trump went into office. And it became like this big conversation about has and have nots that this country has yet to address head on. So it's not only happening in baseball, but as we know, sports is a microcosm of society.
Right.
And it's happening in the larger country. It's this huge divide between haves and have-nots. The government and the president has enabled these owners to blatantly just say, you know what, it's okay if I keep pocketing this money and not doing what my responsibility is.
I'm fleecing. It's fleecing. That's what they're doing.
Yes, 100%. It's ridiculous. Like it goes beyond just being mad that the Yankees didn't get Manny Machado. It's like
it goes. You're right. 100. I'm all the way with you. I couldn't agree with you more.
So now, what should the fans do then?
See, that's the thing. I don't know. Because the other problem, too, that I think is a major part of this is that the baseball media is not talking about this. They're acting as if what these and they're a lot like the political media. They're enabling Trump and they're enabling these owners to get away with it. Because they're all saying, well, this is great. This is smart. They're being efficient. Analytics is telling them that, they should do this and like, be more efficient with their spending, and this is so great, like great that they're pocketing the money, and not one of them have the balls to say, you know what, they're stealing money, and like you said, they're fleecing not only the players but the fans. Like you need the media to be challenging this, because because of the attendance thing not having as big of an impact, I don't know what fans do.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know.
The only thing the fans could do, which is pretty much not what we're going to do, is not watch the games.
And we're going to watch.
And we're going to watch the games.
Right, but it doesn't even matter if you watch the game. Though they have the money. That's the problem. You don't have to watch the game. These are like guaranteed.
No. He's saying in mass. He's saying like in mass.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, like a full boycott, and it's not going to happen. That's why he's saying it. The only way that you can benefit, that you can actually have your voice heard, which is not going to happen, is to boycott and to do what we're doing now, which is actually advance the conversation. Because I think that a lot of people, and this is what the powers that be rely on, a lot of people are just going along and saying, well, this is a bunch of millionaires against a bunch of billionaires, and it has nothing to do with me. All I want to do is watch a guy go hit a 500-foot home run, and I don't really care what their thing is. People aren't making the connection to your job at the factory or your job, at
right.
TSA or whatever, and how that actually is the same struggle.
It's literally the same struggle. Like, it's crazy that, like, the government shutdown is happening and this baseball thing is happening at the same time. Obviously, the furlough and all that stuff is way worse, but the same concept is at play here. It's I'm taking advantage of a system to make sure that I'm lining my pockets at your expense.
Yeah,
the
true.
Same thing is happening. Like it's
very basic. It's actually it's very basic. It's not even a complex scheme.
And for once, we have to agree.
No, and it's blatant. It's blatant. Like, they're not even hiding it. They're like hiding in the light.
In plain sight. They're hiding in plain sight.
In plain sight. They're doing it right in front of all of us. Like the government shutdown, we all know what this is really about. And this thing in baseball is the same thing. It's alarming. It's ridiculous.
It's alarming.
And they're using words just like the Democrats and Republicans are in the middle of this argument and everything else, which are holding the nation hostage. But also in baseball, they're using Manny Machado's words against him to lowball him and to keep him into a state of him not being able to sign the maximum that he could be able to get. The market demands for his talent. You know what I mean?
It's unbelievable.
And everybody's sitting around and acting like, well, you know what? He said he doesn't hustle. They sell that narrative, and everybody jumped right on board with it.
Guess what? Guess
what
he does
his numbers say?
His number says that he's the best shortstop in baseball. That's what his numbers say.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
That's what his numbers say.
But we don't want to pay him now. We don't want to pay him. We don't want to pay him. The two biggest markets, the elite teams, are trying to figure out how not to pay this guy. And there's no reason not for them to
There's
not
no
pay
reason to not pay
They
Manny
can't
Machado.
justify that.
No.
There's no reason.
He deserves
Even
more than
Bryce Harper. I was just going to say, because he doesn't have, if you look at Manny Machado's numbers, Manny Machado doesn't have up and down years. Oh, he had a bad year. Manny Machado's bad year is 35 bombs and 280.
Yeah.
That's his bad year.
Defense.
With Gold Glove.
With Gold Glove defense.
All the way around the field.
No, wherever you want it. Oh, somebody got hurt at third? All right, I'm at third. We need short? I'm there.
He has no holes, but they're trying. The only hole that they have right now is to say that he didn't run out of ground, a line drive off the wall.
Run off exactly.
Come on, man. That's not good enough.
And it's even more ridiculous that the Dodgers have done zilch.
Nada.
They haven't done
except for get rid of players that they should have kept and kept players they should have got rid of.
They just got Russell Martin back today.
Yeah, exactly. I just got into it the other day. I don't know if you saw it on my timeline. So I went back and forth with Dodgers veteran alumni Jerry Harrison Jr. And Jerry's a great guy. And we had a conversation because I could see, but Jerry's a company man. And I could see that he was setting up an argument because he was trying to voice his opposition to the JT Realmuto trade because the Marlins said, well, you guys want Realmuto, we got to get Bellinger and somebody else. And he said, well, you can't trade Bellinger. He's a 22-year-old stud. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. You know what he said? He said, he's a 22-year-old stud. He's one of the best athletes in the game. Why would I trade him for him? I said, because being a great athlete actually doesn't always translate into being a great baseball player. That's why it's a skill game. And what I've seen from Cody Bellinger is he's a guy that refuses to make adjustments because 38 bombs, 39 bombs, 35 bombs mean absolutely nothing to me when I need a well-placed single in the World Series. Or when you can't make contact and look like a little leaguer because now we're in the postseason and everybody remembers the footage of you on an off-speed pitch.
Right.
Right.
Or you get a bad jump on the ball and you got to dive for a ball that really should. You get a spectacular play, a jumbotron play on a ball that should have been a can of corn because you're playing out of position, which isn't even his fault, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And and then they brought in Russell Martin.
Right.
And this was the whole thing.
Because they don't want to get JT Realmuto. They don't
but everybody in their mama is talking about how, well, no, you got this stud Ruiz down there, man. He's the number one prospect in catching in baseball, blah, blah, blah. I'm so tired of everybody acting like prospects are the same as proven professional products in all sports.
Right.
The Raiders just ruined their organization for prospects, and each
they're not
and
even
every
prospects.
And
they're college players.
College players, and each and every single guy they got rid of is on a playoff team now because of them.
Exactly.
What are we saying?
Why is I don't understand why they got rid of Grandal and then brought in Russell Martin.
Right.
Like,
you know what I think? I'm gonna tell you the real though. I think the city Grandal got his pass yanked from the city because that Brewers thing. Now the more puzzling thing to me is
why the Brewers signed him.
Why the Brewers signed him after seeing the worst series in baseball history by a catcher.
It was terrible.
Worse than Gary.
Worse than Gary. And that's saying a lot because, we're not the biggest Gary defense fans.
He couldn't even catch the ball.
He couldn't catch the ball. It looked like there was something wrong with his eyes.
You're a catcher that can't catch the ball. There's a problem.
And Gary can catch the ball. He can't catch the ball in action during the game. Right. But he can catch balls and strikes.
I literally feel like you can move Gary Sanchez to first base. I don't think you can move
No. But you have to see if he can bounce back confidence-wise because that was devastating. He gotten to the point where he couldn't make contact because he couldn't catch the ball. He really cost Clayton Kershaw.
He sure did.
He really cost him, like big.
But you were talking about catchers. JT Realmuto is out there, and they just re-signed him. So that he wouldn't go to arbitration. He just made $5.9 million. Which is a giveaway for him. You going to tell me that I wouldn't give up prospects for probably the best catcher in baseball?
Hold on a second. Right. Let's go back to the Yankees. Let's get back to the East Coast. Pamsson, tell me, why in the world are Yankee fans mad at re-signing Zach Britton?
Oh, I think that's only because of David Robertson.
Oh.
I think David Robertson was really good.
Fan favorite.
Yankee.
There's not enough room for both of them.
But he was really good. I mean, he was really good. And
he was good. David Robinson was good. David Robinson has never been Zach Britton.
No.
Zach Britton was the best pitcher in baseball a couple years ago.
Years ago, he was the best pitcher.
That's my point. I'm happy that they brought – I mean, that was the one guy outside of, like, the obvious big guys that I wanted them to bring back. And I think the other thing, too, is – we didn't see the best of Britton because he was coming back from the Achilles.
He's hurt.
So to me, he was hurt. So to me, I think that those are the two reasons why they weren't happy.
Dog.
Generally,
when Zach Britton gets that heavy sinker back, forget about it. I would rather have him. I was just about to say you'd rather have him there than Aroldis.
Yeah, he's unhittable.
Right, exactly.
He's literally unhittable.
And the other thing, too, that this is actually a legitimate point. The Yankees' infield defense, at least before they got LeMahieu, is terrible.
Yes.
So everybody's like, well, this doesn't make sense because he doesn't strike as many guys out, and he has this sinker where it's like the ground balls, and there's nobody in the infield outside of Didi.
Yeah, but I can't.
Torres, when he's like focused, that can catch the ball.
Yeah,
I'd still rather have Britton.
Yeah, I was about to say I can't punish Zach Britton because Brian Cashman refuses to go sign Manny Machado.
Right.
Right, exactly. And the other thing too is, okay, so we keep talking about Machado, and I always wanted Manny Machado. I think he like fits in perfectly with the team. Like you can move Andujar to first. You can do whatever with Andujar. I wouldn't trade him, but I would have both of them.
I wouldn't. I don't want to trade him. I agree.
I wouldn't want to trade him either.
But you have to get rid of Greg Bird, huh?
Oh yeah, Greg Bird's whatever. But the bigger issue to me that's going to pop up that they have not addressed at all is that they have a 35-year-old left fielder and they're not going after Bryce Harper. Like Brett Gardner is not a starter anymore.
Right,
it's not a starter, man.
Bryce Harper is a hole in left field. Right, there's a hole in left field. They brought Gardy back for less money, and I guess he's a starter, and they are not going after Bryce, it seems like, which makes no sense. Bryce Harper in Yankee Stadium
is the biggest slam dunk. It is the biggest slam dunk in sports history.
56 bombs out there.
Yeah, he might hit 60 bombs. In that lineup, are you crazy? Yeah. He hits 50 bombs. Crazy? He hits 50 bombs in Yankee Stadium with any lineup, with no protection. Yeah. With pop-ups.
Yes.
When you're talking about with that lineup, if you sandwich Harper in between Stanton and Judge, have you lost your mind?
But honestly,
and on top of that, so you have this hole in left field with a 35-year-old that clearly cannot be a starter anymore. And we've seen 2 years now where Judge has gotten hurt, and the team is not the same without Judge.
They sure aren't.
How do you not get another guy? How do you not get another elite guy who's 26 who will make sure that you're okay if Judge gets hurt again?
Somebody's going to get hurt. You know that. That's part for the course.
Well, and the thing of it is that Judge is a 5-tooler. So,
sure is.
So you need to replace him with another 5-tooler, which would be Manny Machado. Bryce Harper is not a 5-tool player because he really doesn't hit for average like that. Manny Machado does everything, and he hits for average.
But let's just be serious. This is the New York Yankees we're talking about.
Yeah, I know, right?
They could sign them both.
And they're on a budget now.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the Yankees are on a budget.
The Yankees are on a budget. They're in the child line.
If you get if the boss was still there, if George Steinbrenner was still
crazy?
there,
Sign
let
him
me
up.
tell you something. You would see the greatest team in baseball history.
You would.
Yeah.
They would have the greatest team in baseball history. They'd figure out a way.
But instead, the Philadelphia Phillies are going to end up with them.
If I was the Phillies, I'm learning, man. I sign them both. They already talked
would
about
I.
how they're talking about stupid money. What do you need? You need $350? I got $350.
I got you.
We just made $10 billion last year. Give the man his money.
And the thing with the Yankees is they went under the luxury tax. They're under the
tax. Okay, and then another side note, I wanted to tell you, I ran into the big fella on the plane the other day, and ran into Mike Stanton, Giancarlo the other day, flying back from Miami.
Oh, you did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
And I was telling him, I said, I it's not his move, obviously, but I said, I don't understand, man. Why don't you guys go get Madison Bumgarner?
Yeah.
You talk about plugging up a hole, and you talk about a guy who's ready for prime time. Man, if the Yankees go get Madison Bumgarner, and then you got Lou Severino right behind him, and then you still got Ace in the back. Thank God that CeCe's got his heart and everything back together. We spoke about that last week. You got a problem on your hand because when it's time to face the Red Sox or anybody else, when the lights come on, that's the guy you want with the baseball.
One of the best pitchers in postseason history.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the Yankees have been doing. To be very honest.
We finally got the confession. I love it. I got it. I'm going to replay this over and over and over.
No, for real. I
Yeah.
tweeted it. I said it. Like, I went through every move. I do like the James Paxton move. If he's healthy, he's nasty.
He is.
I'm fine with that.
Nasty.
But Tulowitzki?
I don't understand Tulo.
I don't understand Tulo.
I don't understand Tulo as a signing. Not even as a backup, to be honest.
No. And you know you
I'd
don't want to play a backup.
I'd rather play
Played 2
around with
years.
one of the kids.
Yeah. And
Right.
I think
He
that's what
hasn't
they're going to do in
played
left
in 2
field.
years.
Yeah.
You guys are going to bring
I
that
mean,
kid up to play in left field?
No, they're going to bring Gardy up. Gardy's going to play left field.
Yeah, I know. I just can't believe that. I can't believe that.
I mean, they let Jed Lowry go to the Mets.
Yep.
Jed Lowry is nasty. I just don't understand what they're doing.
Jed
It's
Lowry's
just
a good
like,
ball player.
He is solid.
yeah, like he's solid.
Only thing ever happened to him is he got hurt.
For a while. Right. I just don't. I don't understand. Outside of Paxton and Britton, they didn't sign Corbin. They brought Hat back. Like, what are you doing?
Well, this is what I think, though. This is what I think. I think we're all seeing something premature right now because of the CBA and everything that we have aforementioned. I think that it's going to come down to the wire, and I think that the big dogs are going to prevail. I really do. And on the sneak, though, who's making serious moves are the Washington Nationals. I like what the Nationals are doing.
Yes. So
You don't care for him.
I don't really because
No, I like him.
No. I'm the Icons. The Icons gave me the eye roll. He just smacked
Oh, he
some.
did?
Yeah, he just gave me a human beatbox.
They always underachieve. They always underachieve. Always. They had Bryce Harper.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on, man.
I agree.
Daniel Murphy
And
Bryce Harper
and a crazy pitching staff.
and a crazy pitching staff, and you can't win. So those moves that they made,
I laid that on Dusty Baker's feet, though.
not last year. They
did you?
Not last year.
Come on, man. They can't get it done. They need to.
They made
blow
a
that
push
team
in the
up.
second half.
You got Soto over there. I
I mean,
mean,
arguably the best pitcher in baseball for the past 5
on.
years.
and
Yeah,
now you
right.
can't. But you can't win. There's a problem there. There's something there that it doesn't seem like
Something isn't syncing,
something's not right. So either way, I don't know who
They refuse to close a game.
right.
They refuse to go get a top line closer.
Especially if Zach Britton is out there.
If Zach Britton is available, the Nationals needed to get Zach Britton.
Dave Robertson.
Yeah,
Come
I
on,
agree.
man.
I agree.
So I don't really buy into the Nationals.
Pamsson, you got anything else to get off your chest? We're about a 5-hour show at this point.
No, I'm good, man. I think we covered a lot.
All right, man. Well, enjoy. I saw on your timeline you're enjoying my beautiful state of California. I hope you get out before the rain hits, and I hope your Bulls put out a good showing tonight.
They won't, but it's okay. I'll see more.
All right, man. Good to hear from you. Travel safe.
Peace.
All right, thanks, man.
Oh, good old Pamsson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Always good to have people in various places, various cities across the board. Gonna move on. We had a big announcement. Big announcement the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact. Andy Murray says Wimbledon champion, first British Wimbledon champion in almost 100 years, said that the Australian Open may be his last tournament. Said he wants to play until Wimbledon this year and retire there at home, but he doesn't know if he's going to be able to make it because that hip is just too much.
Supposed to be screaming.
I believe it. I've had that bum hip. It's hard to
I
walk,
have too.
let alone play a sport.
Oh my goodness, the clicking of the hip.
It's all bad.
Especially if you're doing an explosion sport.
Yep. And I felt bad for him because in the sense that I felt like he just finally peaked. He finally reached his peak around that Wimbledon that he won, and then he started to get hurt shortly after that. Like, you never got to see peak Andy Murray. You got to see peak Andy Murray physically, but you never got to see peak Andy Murray where he figured the game out and physically for a long time. I hate that. But I am excited for the Australian Open that's about to start. And I hope he has a good go. Also, we skipped over. I wanted to talk about. You want to know who's somebody that the world hates? The world hates Ray Lewis.
All right,
they hate Ray Lewis. I was on a plane during that game last week, and I was looking on Twitter. I had Wi-Fi. I was looking on Twitter when Ray Lewis came out and did the Ray Lewis dance to start the game. Everybody and their mom turned on him. I'm talking like 100,000 tweets against Ray Lewis.
Yeah,
and then it turned against the Ravens.
Well, you know what? And one of the things that Ray Lewis was found not guilty of murder, but but in the public's eye, he still
did it.
Yeah,
it's like an OJ scenario.
Yeah, and so he's never really been able to get past that.
No,
and
he didn't go hide.
No, and not only that, he won't get out of the light.
He needs it still.
Yeah, he
acts like he's still on the defense.
Right, and you're not on the defense. It's Suggs' team.
It's tough. It's T-Sizzle's team.
T-Sizzle. I mean, so you need to step back,
he's capable.
Yeah, and let the Ravens breathe, and not bring all them bad vibes out there.
That's what it was. A little bad juju. So I wanted to bring that out in the news and notes section.
And what about Sloan? Sloan, your boy Popovich just passed Sloan.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Congrats to Pop. Still arguably the greatest coach in sports right now.
He's almost there. He almost has the winningest record. What is he, number 4 now?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. And you know what? We got that kid, the super top prospect, Devin Haney, boxing tonight on ShowBox. I'm really excited to see him fight. And there's a lot of guys in boxing that have to decide where they're going now that HBO boxing has ended. You got that kid Bivol. You still got Triple G. Excuse me. There's a lot of guys that are yet to be determined. So I'm hoping we get the best fights in 2019. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but one of the best fights that's coming up is Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. And although you've heard me say several times, I don't know why Mikey would want to fight Errol Spence as opposed to fighting like a Lomachenko. He's doing it. The fight is on. He's moving up in weight. And one of the things that he's doing to move up in weight is work with Victor Conti of Balco fame.
Wow.
This is a really serious surprise to me. I want to see how you felt about it because Victor Conti went to prison behind sports doping and X, Y, and Z, but he never stepped away from sports.
Yeah, well, obviously he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing.
No, so I'm not mad at him. Especially as many guys are testing dirty now, you can get a guy who's an expert in this field, probably can get you the right way, get you prepared the right way, get the right amount of dosage or whatever you need to do to be able to get up there and thump Errol Spence.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to do whatever.
And he's getting tested. It's not like he's not, Mikey's not a dirty fighter at all.
He's fundamentally sound. He's probably one of the most fundamentally sound fighters.
It's great to watch.
In all of boxing. I don't see a problem with Conte doing his thing. I mean, Conte went dirty with baseball, but, I mean, what can you do?
No, he has the knowledge. It doesn't mean that he's just full-blown dirty all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to be a serious match. I don't know how he would be able to win that fight. I think it would be one of the biggest upsets of all time, but I'm really blown away by how Errol Spence really doesn't get the credit that he's supposed to.
Me too. On the pound-for-pound list, he has
a hard time getting fights.
And everybody swears that he doesn't.
I mean, come on, man. The dude's he's an animal. Miller.
Man, you're an animal. Well, we got Manny Pacquiao and Adrian Broner next week. We'll talk about that. You got anything else?
No. Do you want to speak on that Floyd situation? But remember, everybody was on Floyd for taking that $9 million.
You know what?
And I have to agree with Floyd this time.
This time, I'm all the way with him. Go beat up that little dude. Looked like the little dude woke him up with a punch when he was joking around when he came out. And then the little dude decided to touch his glove. And he's like, let me get this little dude out of here. Knock Tension out. Now everybody in the world want to fight Tension.
Right.
Conor McGregor want to fight Tension. Chris Cyborg talk about how she want to fight Tension.
And Tension knock her out.
I don't know. I don't think she said she want to fight Tension.
Okay.
I think she, on the card. Yeah, no.
Cyborg just lost her match.
Yeah, Amanda Nunes is top dog. And, and now I saw something that I hope isn't true about Roy Jones fighting Anderson Silva.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. I hope it's not true. And
we're going on a geriatric tour?
I hope not. And, yeah. So, I don't know about all that, but I'm with Mayweather on this one. Get your cheese. Keep doing exhibitions. Don't come back and fight. Why? Unless you desperately need the money, which I hope isn't the case. I hate to see older guys fighting. You know?
Right.
It's hard enough to see young guys fighting. And, you see a guy, even like Adonis Stevenson, should have wrapped it up sooner. Thank God he's healing up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your first full edition of the Ozone in 2019. We're glad you're rocking with us. We're going to leave you with a quote from Ernest Hemingway. And it is, "There's nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self." Check yourselves in the mirror, folks. You got to help yourself get right before you can help anybody else, in my mind. Because a lot of people giving advice, especially on the internet, that don't know anything about anything. I'm your host, Omar Miller. This is the Ozone.
Ozone.
I'm just living the dream. I'm in love with the lights. This is not